Hey YouTube, Zane Frank here. Today's episode of Hobby Talk, I'm going to be talking about something that is very interesting to me, maybe to you guys as well, and that is what is sitting over at PSA, just waiting to be graded in the world of Pokemon. Um, I mainly focused my studies on Pokemon because most of the cards I have being graded right now are Pokemon cards, and it's been very interesting this last year or so of card grading, all of the big things that have happened. But sometimes you have to wonder what is sitting over there. So I was able to come up with a mathematical estimate formula. I've been tracking this for a few months so I could get a more accurate count. So this is basically like going over to the PSA warehouse and going through their boxes of cards that are sitting there waiting to be graded and be able to kind of tabulate what's over there. So I was able to come up with these numbers. Now I'll probably do another video in maybe about 3 months. I'll do another hobby talk video to do an update to see if how these numbers are progressing, because the more data I get, the more accurate these numbers are going to be. So right now, I'm estimate most of these estimates are based on, I think there's at least an 8 month backlog of orders. So I'm basing my numbers off of that. I bet you the backlog is probably even more than that. So I try to be conservative with the amount of backlog. And I did not take into consideration any of the promos, none of the Japanese sets, these are just cards from the main Pokemon sets that have been released, and I really don't have very good data from the newest couple sets that have come out, because there's just not enough info on those, on what's being graded out of those yet. But when I do an update to this, I'll have a better grip on some of the newer sets as well. So to start off with, the total number of cards, of Pokemon cards from the main Pokemon sets that is sitting in boxes or just waiting to be graded by PSA right now, is 337,430. So that number is pretty incredible. I wish I would have been compiling maybe some certain sets of sports cards, but it just overwhelmed you with all the data. So I try to stick with Pokemon. Now, when you break down the data, I did not break down first edition versus unlimited, because I'm really not a player in the first edition game. It's not something that first edition cards are out of my reach. So I lumped everything together. I'd imagine most of the Wizards of the Coast era cards are first edition that are being graded, but I didn't break that down. Just the total from each set. The most cards of any set being graded by far, guys, are original base set. Right now there's 65,500 base set cards waiting to be graded by PSA, and that number, it's just a quick check of my math, is probably 1/5 to 1/6 of all the cards that are there. They're base set. Like stuff like this. I know people are starting to grade some of the non-holos, so that's probably helping push those numbers up. Now, jungle set, there's about 15,800 jungle cards waiting to be graded. Fossil, there's about 15,100 fossil cards waiting to be graded. Base set 2, only about 5,800 base set 2 cards being graded. Team Rocket, there's 19,500 Team Rocket cards. It's the second most of all the Wizard of the Coast era cards that people are grading right now, and that's Team Rocket cards. Gym Heroes, I'm going to go set by set with the Wizard of the Coast era cards, because the vast majority over half of the cards at PSA right now waiting to be graded are Wizards of the Coast era. Over half. So I'm going to go set by set with these. Gym Heroes, there's about 6,200 Gym Heroes cards. I love this set, Gym Challenge. There's about 7,900 Gym Challenge cards. Neo Discovery, there are, Neo Genesis, I don't have a graded Neo Genesis card. There's 9,000 Neo Genesis cards. Neo Discovery, 3,700 waiting to be graded. Neo Revelation, 4,600 Neo Revelation cards waiting to be graded. Neo Destiny, there are 5,500 of those waiting to be graded. Legendary Collection, 4,300. I was kind of surprised it was that low because I figured a lot of people would be grading these reverse holos because they're getting more popular. But there's probably just not that much out there. That is one of the hardest to get Wizards of the Coast sets. And then the e-reader sets, I don't have any of those graded. Expedition was at 3,900, Aquapolis 2,900, and Skyridge 3,400. So quite a bit less. The three of the lowest numbered piles of cards waiting at PSA are from the e-reader sets from Wizards of the Coast. All right, so then that brings us to the EX era. And guys, there are not a lot of EX cards sitting over there. If you add up all 16 EX series sets that these came out between 2003 and 2007, there's only 22,500 EX series cards being graded right now, so or waiting to be graded. Out of those sets, most of them are around 1,000 cards each. The lowest one was Hold On Phantoms, only 500 Hold On Phantoms cards waiting to be graded. And the most I have at Delta Species, there's 2,500 Delta Species cards. So a lot of the sets that have Gold Star cards had a little bit higher numbers, so I'm sure people are digging out their Gold Stars and sending those in to get graded, regardless of condition, just to have them slabbed. But still, if you look at the numbers, all of the entire EX era is about 1/3 of what's sitting there in base set. So not very much of that out there. And then we look at the Diamond and Pearl era sets. Now I count, I'm counting all, there was, let's see, there was 7 Diamond and Pearl sets that came out. There were 4 Platinum sets, and then 5 Heart Gold Soul Silver sets, because I count Call of Legends as a Heart Gold Soul Silver set. So that's 7 plus 9. That's another 16 sets that came out in this era. And there's only 5,580 of cards from those 16 sets that are waiting to be graded right now. So that means that there's not a lot of these level X cards out there that are waiting to be graded. Which, guys, I don't have a lot of subscribers, so take this information and do with it as you will. So a lot of people aren't going to be able to get this type of information. Like the Diamond and Pearl set, this card right here is actually from the Diamond and Pearl set. There's only 200 Diamond and Pearl cards sitting there waiting to be graded out of those, 350,000 cards. So the pop reports on these are not going to be going up. I think the lowest one was Great Encounters. There's only 50 of those sitting over there waiting to be graded. The highest number was Call of Legends, which is a great set. There's 850 Call of Legends cards sitting over there. Probably most of them those shiny Legends cards. This is a Heart Gold Soul Silver Prime. The Heart Gold Soul Silver sets, there's about 300 to 400 of each of these sets sitting over there. Not much, so the pop reports on those are not going to go up very high. Here's a Call of Legends card. Like I said, there's about 850 Call of Legends cards waiting to be graded. Okay, so that brings us to the EX era. Oh no, not the EX era. The black and white era. Now, black and white era, people just don't grade this stuff. I don't know if it's just because it wasn't very popular or it's just not out there. But I think there's great cards to grade, like the full art EX cards. But when you look at the numbers, there are, there are 11 black and white sets that came out. These came out between 2011 and 2013 or 14. No, 2013. So a little 2 or 3 year stretch there. 11 sets came out. Only 2,540 black and white series cards are waiting to be graded. And some of the first sets, like black and white, Emerging Powers, Noble Victories, Next Destinies, there's maybe 50 to 100 of those sets. 50 to 100 cards of each of those sets in those boxes at PSA. And by far, the most number would be Legendary Treasures, which is only about 700 cards, but out of all the black and white sets, Legendary Treasures is the one that people are grading the most out of those sets. Plasma Storm was 500, but I imagine a lot of those are those secret rare Charizards that people had in their collections and they're getting graded. I have one of those waiting to be graded, actually. But in comparison, the entire black and white era, there's less of that entire era than any one set of Wizards of the Coast. Like, Aquapolis is the fewest of any set from Wizards of the Coast at 2,900 that are waiting to be graded. And the entire black and white 11 sets, there's only 2,540. So, very scarce on those. Next, we go to the XY era. The XY sets, they came out from 2014 to 2017. There were 13 sets. So they squeezed quite a few sets in those few years. Interestingly, if you take out of the equation XY evolutions, there were 5,500 of all the other sets besides evolutions graded, so pretty low. The highest out of all those was Flash Fire. There's 900 Flash Fire cards waiting to be graded, which is still very low. Oh, Generations, there's 1,300 Generations cards waiting to be graded, which is still pretty low considering all the cards that are over there. But when it comes to Evolutions, people are grading the crap out of Evolutions cards. There are currently 24,700 XY Evolutions cards waiting to be graded. Unbelievable to me. That set, people love grading that stuff. It would, if XY Evolutions, if you look at the whole pile of cards from every set, Evolutions is more than any Wizards of the Coast set except for base set, which that's kind of out of whack because the set is really not super tough. Until just very recently, you could still buy the packs everywhere. And even though they're super fun to open, and it's annoying to hear people always, some certain individuals always, talk bad about Evolutions. It definitely is not worth paying a high premium to open the packs now because, there's just so many that are being graded. And that is a staggering number of cards. Almost 25,000 that haven't even been graded yet. So, guys, don't overpay for evolutions. If you feel like you missed out on evolutions, just wait. You'll be able to buy graded cards of those. The price of those, I would guess, would come down. Now, that brings us to Sun and Moon era. Oh, so if you add up evolutions and the rest of XY, that's 30,200 XY era cards that are being graded right now. They're waiting to be graded. That brings us to Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon, there's quite a few of those cards being graded as well. What was especially eye-opening was, let's see, this is actually from Burning Shadows. There's a lot of Burning Shadows cards that are waiting to be graded. 2,300 actually. I think that might be because people know that there's only one good printing run of Burning Shadows, and all the printing runs after that they'll never get PSA 10s. They're just chewed up. The print quality on those is so terrible. So I think people are sending in their first run cards knowing that there's just not that many. Shining Legends, that's part of the Sun and Moon sets. There's a lot of people grading those shinies and stuff. 4,400 of those sitting at PSA right now. And oh yeah, there were 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12. There were 16 Sun and Moon era sets. I'm actually counting Detective Pikachu in that number because people are grading tons of Detective Pikachu cards. There's actually 530 of those waiting to be graded. So I just counted that as a Sun and Moon set. Cosmic Eclipse, beautiful set, fantastic, and was just out very recently. There's 5,800 Cosmic Eclipse cards being graded, sitting at PSA right now. So those numbers are going to go up. But that set is so great. There's so many good cards in that set. I wouldn't be scared off by that number. The set, though, that has been graded more than any other set besides base set recently. Wrap your mind around this number, guys. There are 31,600 Hidden Fates cards waiting to be graded at PSA. So they have not even been entered into the pop reports. They are sitting there waiting to be graded. That's even more than evolutions. It's about half. It's less than half as much as the original base set that's sitting there. But for a modern set like that to be graded, it's being graded at a scale that dwarfs everything but base set. But this is the ultimate modern set. It's a wonderful set. This set brought a lot of people back into collecting Pokemon and brought a lot of attention. It's a beautiful set. There's tons and tons and tons of great cards to grade, so that number is going to be pretty solid. There's not as many Evolutions cards, I think, that are that should be graded, but there's so many Hidden Fates cards that should be graded. I wouldn't be scared away by those numbers, but don't overpay for Shining Fates cards because they're going to be definitely hitting the market here in the next few months. Not Shining Fates, Hidden Fates. So another interesting number that you can look at is if you piled up all of the Hidden Fates cards that are waiting to be graded and all the other Sun and Moon sets, those other 12 sets, the Hidden Fates stack would be taller. There's 31,600 Hidden Fates, 25,000 of all the other 12 sets. So by far, a very far margin, Hidden Fates is being graded. That brings us to the Sun and Moon era. I love not Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield era. I think there's some really great cards in these sets. Been very impressed with at least some of the first few sets that came out. The card quality is some of the best that Pokemon's ever made. They've been slipping a little bit with the last few sets, but you have really good shots at getting PSA 10s out of your earlier, like this is from the base Sword and Shield set. Rebel Clash cards grade very well, Darkness Ablaze, but then stuff starts getting a little wonky after that. But there are, since these are the newest sets, there are tons of these being graded. 46,700 of the Sword and Shield sets, the first 5 sets. I don't have any good data on Shining Fates or Battle Styles because they're too new. But so you can imagine it's probably well over 50,000 Sword and Shield cards that are waiting to be graded. By far, the last 2 big sets, Champion's Path and Vivid Voltage, are way more than the original 3 sets. I'll just go through those since they're ones that people are probably still able to find in stores and open. Sword and Shield, there's 4,600 Sword and Shield cards waiting to be graded, 3,200 Rebel Clash, 4,300 Darkness Ablaze, and then Champion's Path, 17,900 Champion's Path cards waiting to be graded. Now this might be off a little bit because I think a lot of people express graded their shiny Charizards and secret rare, rainbow rare Charizards, but still, those numbers have been skyrocketing from that set, and I know I sent mine in bulk. We'll see if I get upcharged for them, so I know I'm not the only one sending those cards in as bulk. So those 2 are probably going to be the 2 most graded Charizards in the history of Pokemon. Even though they're tough to pull, people ripped the crap out of Champion's Path, and there are tons of those Charizards out there, and there's tons of them waiting to be graded. So don't overpay for those 2, even though they're hard to pull. Vivid Voltage, this one surprised me. There's 16,700 Vivid Voltage cards waiting to be graded, but I think that set was way better to grade than Champion's Path because you had the chunky Pikachus, you have all the amazing rares, you had some other cool stuff in that set. So Vivid Voltage, I think Vivid Voltage will eventually pass up Champion's Path in the number of cards graded. So that's my analysis of what's over at PSA. These are estimates, of course. I didn't actually go over and look through the boxes, but through use of math and estimation and statistics and stuff like that I've been tracking for months now, I'm very confident these numbers are pretty close. I mean, they're going to be in the ballpark. So what can you take out of this, guys, as useful knowledge? Don't be afraid to invest in like Diamond and Pearl cards. Don't be afraid to invest in the Level X cards. Don't be afraid to invest in the Black and White series cards because they're not going. The pop reports on those are not going to go up very much at all. I mean, you're talking like Diamond and Pearl sets. Just a couple hundred of most of those sets are waiting to be graded. So there's certain cards in those sets that I would say are going to be very popular. Plus, Diamond Pearl, guys, they're doing a remake of Diamond Pearl, the video game. So there's going to be a lot more people excited about Diamond Pearl and kind of wanting to relive the cards even back then. So I think the Diamond Pearl era is getting set to kind of explode. And if that happens, yes, people will start grading more, but they haven't at this point. Some of the lowest pop reports are definitely Diamond and Pearl era stuff. Unfortunately, I haven't been tracking the Japanese cards as well as I should have been, but those numbers have been going up. They haven't been skyrocketing as much as some of the English sets. So I think Japanese cards are definitely worth looking into to pick up some. And who knows what's going to happen with Pokemon here in upcoming in the graded card market here with PSA. I don't even know if PSA will even let people send in bulk orders anymore. They might limit everybody to like regular submissions or express. We know that they're not going to be doing any at least till July, and who knows how much it's going to cost at that point. So I hope if you guys were wanting to get cards graded, I really sincerely hope you were able to get yours in to PSA before all this happened, where PSA has gotten overwhelmed and kind of cut off the bulk submissions. Really, have cut off all submissions unless you want to spend $300 to grade a card, which I'm never going to be in that situation where I spend that much. I'm thankful I was able to get cards graded. They have a ton of my cards right now. I'm going to be showing those videos once I get them back. Hope you guys are enjoying the reveal videos. I love doing those. Very fun. I have a pretty good pile of cards that I'm waiting till July to send in. I hope to be able to send in. I'm expecting I'll be having to spend about $25 a card to grade, so I'm being pretty picky on what I'm going to send. But it's going to be probably my best ever Pokemon order submission to PSA because, I mean, you have to pick out the much better cards to send when you're spending more. So stay tuned for more videos. I hope this gave some enlightenment to you guys. And don't listen to people that say that, oh, people are only grading modern cards. They're not grading the vintage stuff. No, the numbers very clearly show that over half the cards that are sitting at PSA waiting to be graded are Wizards of the Coast. And I have the numbers to prove it. All right, stay tuned for more videos, guys. Hope you enjoy Hobby Talk, and talk to you later.